I'll send them out on Saturday.
Oh, Saturday, okay.
Yeah, it'll be tomorrow or Tuesday. Yeah, well, let's see. Yeah, it was, it's always a learning experience no matter what we do.
Yeah. Now, are you going to get reports on what's been donated?
We should, because we asked everybody to, when they donate, I specify is for the reserve fund.
Yeah.
So we should know that.
I made my donation. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. Okay.
They sent you that email because, and I'm so impressed with when you came up to me and said,
Well, 272. We had told Cindy,
that's what I need to express to people who are watching, because Cindy, we had told Cindy they would be out last week. And so she so I need to help people understand that we had logistics issues, and I take responsibility for that. They're out now.
Oh, no. You don't even there was so much.
Johanna, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
And wasn't she good? Did she want to control it?
Johanna, can you hear Cindy?
When you have other people speaking, try to get them to stand in front of the laptop, so that the people on Zoom can see if they're standing off the side.
Gotcha.
I'll see anybody, nobody to shoot. And then
What if they're
like ice cream.
right. So
Put it on your chin.
So in the audience,
I just think this, because they have questions. That's fine. That'll work. I'm just saying I don't want to bring them up here. The only two people speaking should be me and Johanna.
If there is an open Q&A, just have somebody run around the mic.
say what?
I could be a runner if you want.
Okay.
I'll take your volunteer.
Yeah.
I think we're one thing.
Is there
Is there a mic up there? Do I use this?
Okay. Okay. I'm trying again.
Say what?
Okay, I'm talking on mic. Can you hear me? I would sing you a song, but then it'd clear the whole place out. Okay, you want me to keep talking? All right, I'm talking. Let's see. I want to welcome you all here today. Is it time to start yet? Yes, it is. Okay, so Johanna is walking down the aisle.
We can't hear you online anymore.
Not for the first time. Johanna, would you lead us, open us in
hear
prayer,
me
please?
Out there. This is Cindy.
Cindy, I hope you can hear us. We can hear you.
Johanna, I can't hear you.
Okay. I can hear you.
No.
I know, but you can't hear me. But I can
cannot
hear
hear you.
Okay. Well, we're going to fix that in a second. So, Cindy, I hope you can put on the live stream on YouTube or something so you can hear that I understand. All right, so we're going to take this time to just pray in today's town hall meeting. For those that are joining us online, for those that are here in person, those that are on their way.
But I can't hear Johanna.
I know.
Yeah, so we're just going to all just pray in, and even if there's talking over me, we know that the Lord goes before us, is within us. We say yes to today's town hall meeting. We say yes to this community, knowing that God is within the very fabric of our community, within each one of us. We see the leadership, the board of trustees, the senior minister, those that are in the leadership positions, volunteers, everyone making their way for the greater good of this community. We say thank you, God, for your continued presence within Unity Church of Hawaii. And so it is. Amen and amen.
I cannot hear you. We cannot hear you.
No?
And then let's test it out that way.
Yes.
Okay, we got thumbs up. Okay. So good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today, June 25th, 2023. So we do have a little bit of echo because it's going back through the... All right, so we'll continue. Maybe if you make it a little less hot, maybe that'll help. It does, yes. All right, okay. We're going to continue and know that all is well, and you'll be able to hear us amongst the echo. So if we can shift to the next screen, you know, I want to talk just briefly about our shadow self and who we aspire to be. This is what the board did for its cue card at a board retreat. And I remember when we were inconsiderate and we were unsafe and we were helpless, we were distrusting, we were overwhelmed, we were hostile. I remember when we actually exhibited all those things. And you know, I was thinking about that during the talk this morning when Becca expressed how we see things. We see things as a pattern of who we are and how the glasses that we're looking through. And I got to say, my glasses are cleaner than they have been in a long time. But during that time, when we were acting inconsiderate and unsafe and helpless and distrusting, that's also how we saw people. And so we were perpetuating our own issues. We were causing them to be compounded. So when we changed our behaviors and our outlook, if we can have the next slide, please. And we became loving and in integrity and unstoppable and spirit-led, empowered, in ownership, and transformational. When we believed those to be true about ourselves, that's also how we started seeing those around us. And I believe that is what's making a difference for us now as we are establishing our beloved community. That we are seeing that each of us has these attributes within us because we're seeing them within ourselves. So that's my sermon for the morning. So I want to talk now about the next slide, which is the board has principles that it goes by as far as how we look at how we do our business. Last month I shared you our first one, and this is our second one. We value and seek with curiosity a diversity of interests and a variety of perspectives. What that is saying is that what you think is important. If we have different views, both of them are equally important. Both of them need to be heard and expressed. And not only is it important for us that I can only speak for myself, this is what the board should be using it for its viewpoints. Not only is it important that I hear you, but it's also important that I'm curious about what that means to you. That it's more than just, okay, I hear you and I can turn my back on it and let it go. But also to take it in and play with it in my mind and in my imagination, as was expressed this morning, as far as how that works for me. Allow me to learn something. And this is what the board really is using as its second highest guiding principle. Okay, what's our board news? We still have a board vacancy. We have put requests out to the nominating committee to provide us some names of people that we can put through the application and vetting process. One person has already been identified and said she might be willing to do so. So we're looking for some more names. But currently, our nominating committee is tied up with other things, and so it's taking a little bit longer than we expected. Spirit groups are alive and active. People are talking about how wonderful they are. When I'm in the courtyard, I hear people talking to each other about things they've discussed online and outside of the service, and I think that's really exciting. The Unity School renovation is nearing completion. Right now, we're finishing off our permitting process and approval process, and once that happens, then they will move the rest of their operation up into the education building, and the church proper will take over the cottage, and we'll look at revamping that environment to be a multifunctional area for our purposes. The cottage area, yeah, that's the area right down here. This is actually the original house that was on his property, and it's the area when you go through the breezeway to the right. Okay, so thank you for that clarification. That's the area we're talking about. We're looking at rebuilding that into a multi-room, multifunctional arena for meetings, classes, parties, things of that sort. And then finally, the operating reserve donations. Last week, our treasurer, Cindy, who's online right now, expressed to you that we were going to be sending out letters requesting donations. We had they were supposed to go out last week. There was a little bit of a glitch. There were logistics issues. They all got mailed out yesterday. Okay, so you'll be receiving them. I want to speak just briefly about what this is about. Each year in October, we typically have a fundraising. And in fundraising, we identify specific projects we want to put money into, and people will be able to then provide a donation that's tax deductible, but they'll be able to support individual areas that they have passion for. As we have come out of COVID, and we brought a senior minister on board, and we have increased activity on the campus, we do have some increased costs. And we haven't quite got our membership up to the level that it was before to cover all of that. Now, we don't want to just put money into an operating fund and say, okay, we're just going to spend it however. Our prior treasurer, Debbie Catania back there, Debbie, raise your hand. Hello. Okay. A couple of years ago, she said, we need a reserve. We need to have something we can manage our expenses from and know that if we fall short, we have something we can reach back and do and take care of. But it's a conscious decision that we make to do that. We don't just write checks. We think about what we're doing. So we began this reserve account, effectively, and that is what is taking care of us right now. Each month, you've seen we've been a little bit behind, several $1,000s every month. So the question is, where does that money come from? Right now, it's coming from this reserve that we built up. And what's going on right now is the reserve is getting depleted. So what we're looking to do is to take this year to spend some effort and financial prosperity into circulation, into the church, to the reserve account, with the knowledge that it's not just money that's going to go to pay for all of our operating expenses, however that might be, but it's money that we are going to judiciously apply when it's appropriate to help us get through some tough times. Yeah, Chip? Hold on. Can you? Thank you.
Fix it. Thank you. Hello. Thank you. Question for me is to clarify, are we doing anything now to immediately backfund that and refill it? Is there enough coming in that we can start on that? And how big a crew are you looking to get that thought through?
Let me see if I can. We have some funds still remaining. All right, we're looking for an immediate We didn't want to wait till October, our normal fundraising. We wanted to start this now when we have it on hand, okay? And as far as the number, if we're looking at, we would like to look at maybe $60,000 to $80,000 to get us through the year. Target, yes. Now that we have some opportunities coming up that we believe will help relieve that, but we're not going to count on anything we don't have in our vision right now. So that's kind of where that's at. Cindy, is there anything else you'd like to speak to that? Cindy's not coming through. I can hear you through the computer.
But can Chip hear me is the question.
Hold on a second. No. Let me.
Hello, this is a test of the broadcast system. Hanging on. See if we can make it. We've got the technology.
So keep talking.
I'm just doing a test. I could sing a song if you didn't really want me to do that.
Oh, I'd sing with you. Okay, it's coming.
Hi, everybody.
All right, so
Still not hearing me in the sanctuary, only at the computer?
can you guys hear at all?
We can hear you in the sanctuary.
So if somebody can tell Sean that it was working earlier before somebody did something, we could hear you way better in a different mic than the one you're using now. When we were not live, we could hear you great. And then we went live and you guys went silent and then we couldn't hear you and you couldn't hear us.
Okay, can you guys hear her now? Yeah. Okay, they can hear you now.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I don't know where we are. So I was going to say to Chip, I can talk more about that. When we do the Treasury Report, I'm not sure if we're at the Treasury Report time now or where we are in the lineup.
The Treasury Report is the next slide.
Well, there you have it. Look, I'm on. All right. Well, if you guys can hear me, I just want to say, hey, it's me, Cindy. I am a member of T3, your trusted Treasury team, and this is your monthly report. One of the things I'm trying to do is start each of our times with a quote. This is actually the slide from last month, but it's still up there. We'll get you a new quote next month. But I just want to say, we are the beloved community, and this is our quote for this day. Money is but one venue for generosity. However, what we all know is that kindness is an even more valuable currency. And that is a quote by Alan Cohen. And I just like us to always start off talking about money, thinking about that through the lens of kindness and generosity and love and transparency. So next slide, please. And can you all still hear me?
Yes. Oh.
Yes, we can still hear you, Cindy.
Okay, well, those are not my slides. So I'm hoping that they actually got in there, Jer. I didn't do a run through because I'm not there.
Kathy's working on it.
Okay, that's awesome. You guys are so patient.
Can you share them from your screen?
I can share them from my screen, but then I'm sharing to your computer. Is your computer, well, that might work. Hang tight. Let me do share screen. Hang on a second. That's not my screen. But I gotta see what I'm looking at. Oops, oh shoot. I think I might have just left the meeting. No?
are.
Cancel. Hi. Hang on a second. I'm
You
looking
look
for
wonderful, by the way.
my slides. What's that?
I say you look wonderful, by the way.
Why, thank you. Okay, let me do the town hall for June. There it is. And then let me see if I can share screen. Dun, 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 dun. And that's that. Let me share. Okay, it's going to take me a second because I'm in the wrong view. So let me go to slideshow. Where's slideshow? Slideshow. You guys are so patient. I don't know. I don't know if I can do slideshow while I'm sharing screen. Can you guys actually see that? You can see the side view, but can you also just see here?
Yes.
Okay, you can just, I know the side view is there too, but that's okay. If you can see the main one, that was actually my quote for this month instead of last month. Look at that, a new quote. You guys are so lucky you get two of us. I'll let you read it to yourselves. It's a Marianne Williamson quote. It says, I'm going to go ahead and read it. It says, as long as we remain vigilant at building our internal abundance, an abundance of integrity, an abundance of forgiveness, an abundance of service, an abundance of love, then external lack is bound to be temporary. I want to claim that right there and right then. So that's Marianne Williamson. All right. So I want to start off, like we always start off at Town Hall and talking about our tithe. We give monthly a portion of our donation. We give a third and a third and a third. So we give to Unity Worldwide Ministry, Unity Headquarters, and then we give to a local nonprofit. And this month, we are giving to a local nonprofit. Their name is Project Hawaii. And they provide services to over 1,600 individual homeless children annually across the islands of Oahu, Maui, and the Big Island. They provide a sense of stability through interactive programs, educational summer camps, school support, educational training. And additionally, they provide monthly outreach and support to assure that children are supplied with healthy meals, personal hygiene care, and emergency services. And so we are really in alignment with what they do, and they are in alignment with our mission, which is changing lives and inspiring people to sorry, I just lost our mission, but you guys know it. Centered in God, we are inspiring people to make positive difference in the world. And so these people are obviously making a positive difference in the world, and we are so happy to partner with them. So that is where our June tithe went this month. And we just always want you to know that no matter where we are in the brackets, no matter where we are not stopping the law of circulation. We are not saying, hey, we just can't afford to tithe this month. There is always enough. We are living from the consciousness of abundance, and that is what we are holding. We are holding that vision. So I'm going to cruise on to the next slide. This is just a quick, brief overlook of where we are for the month of May specifically. These were our donations, which were just over $14,000. Our other income, again, just over $14,000. Those are things like the counseling center, the wellness center, the kitchen, anything that comes in from that venue, and any special events like weddings that we might have. So our total income this month was just over $2,800. We always have a CODR, which is cost of direct revenue, and those were our expenses. So you can see, just in a little brief snapshot, again, we're a little bit in the brackets, and this is kind of where we've been in the brackets, right around between 7, 8, and 9,000 a month. And I'm going to show you the next slide, which kind of gives you the overview of where we are and where we've been. And this is actually my kind of favorite slide. And it really just provides a greater look at like trends and how things are moving. One of the things I want to bring your attention to is that although we are in the brackets, and we're a little bit more in the brackets than we were last month, our donations, if you look up here at our donations for May, our overall donations were $14,500, and our donations for April were $14,700, which is more. However, keep in mind that April had five, I tell you, Sundays and Easter. That's usually a high-flying time for us. So if you think about that logistically, then you can see that our donations are actually continuing to be on the rise, and that is what we're looking for, is our donations are continuing to be on the rise. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. Our other income, again, because we had 5 Sundays, we had more things happening on campus, was a little bit higher than now. Also, other things that happened in our other income in April was our counseling center double paid us. So we're like, oh, hey, thanks, but you paid in advance. So that was a little bit more in April and a little bit less in May because they paid in advance. And everything else was pretty much the same. Again, our expenses, now bring this to your attention. What happened back here in January and February and why our expenses were so much lower, I really want you to know that we were given permission and we were taking the cost of our music ministry out of what is called our reserved fund. So that is reserved specifically for the music ministry. However, that money is really supposed to be and is budgeted to be in our budget. And so come March, the money that we were paying the musicians and all of those folks was moved from the reserve to the general operating fund. And that's why we're like, hey, that's why you see that jump in our actual expenses. But that is in accordance to really what it is. Like our monthly expenses are sitting around 37, 38. We've been trying to tighten our belts, and you can see that our expenses were a little bit less this month. Also, a little bit more in April. We had more Sundays. This is now, Chip, back to what you were talking about. We had, at one time, and I don't have the number out with me, but about $40,000 in our reserve fund. We, in March, needed to transfer $20K out of our reserve fund to help pay for our expenses. And so that left, actually, it's a little bit more than that. So that number is incorrect. So we did transfer money out in March. And also, it's not shown here, but we also authorized another transfer in May of $15,000 from our reserve fund. To answer the question you had, Chip, about how much is actually left in our reserve fund, I'd have to look it up, and I can do that. It'll take a moment. But we have about one more month's worth of pulling $15,000 out, and then it will be flat. So, which would mean it would be gone. So when you ask, like, how soon are we needing this? That answer would simply be now. And again, who are we pulling? We're pulling all of the members, all of the people who regularly tithe, to see if they can find it within themselves and within their pocketbooks, really, and within their consciousness to support this immediate need. And again, we are knowing that we are growing our membership, we are tightening our belts, and this is normal for coming out of something like COVID, where we had very limited services, and now we have a very flush, expansive service. We've got a youth and family ministry that's starting to really grow. We've got the kitchen back, the courtyard back with food. We've got more people coming in, our musicians. There's so much happening. We are just thriving. So we're just looking to catch up with ourselves and, to be able to build up that regular donation coming in monthly, which is why we always talk about people doing auto tithe. I always talk about the gas tank. Like, I like to know how much gas I have in the car each month, so I know how far I can go. But if I'm like, yeah, I'm not really going to fill up the tank this month, then, and I have this trip planned, so like I have expenses, then I'm going to somehow fall short. Something's going to need to go. So that's why we're encouraging people around auto tithing. So I'm going to stop at this slide and see if anybody has any questions thus far. So I've been talking.
There are no raised hands in the chapel.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, there's one.
I was waiting. Okay, leave that slide, please. What? Hello? Hello? I want that slide left right there, please. At the top it says, and this may seem pedantic, but it's more about, are we fighting ourselves or are we flowing with ourselves. Look at the phrase that says we're climbing the hill together. Okay? I love the part about beloved community, but I would offer a rewording consideration. Rather than climb the hill, let's flow down the river to success. That comes right out of Abraham. That's the first thing I wanted to say, and probably the last for the meeting. But I come from a place where every word counts, along with every dollar. Okay, great. We can use downhill or we can use downriver. If you read Abraham, they talk about, is it easier to row upriver or row downriver? So we would say to ourselves, hey, we're rowing downriver, we're flowing downriver into our greatness in our beloved community. There's a lot of very good things like Cindy just outlined that are happening. Look at this, look at that. It's just a different way to conceive of it. And frankly, I'm about 60 days into this for Chip, and I'm just loving it. It just changes my whole attitude about taking anything on. Business, whatever, friendships, being kind. You know, she didn't mean that. She's flowing in a different direction now with me. She wasn't trying to be, somebody called me a son of a bitch the other day, and I just said, hey, you know what? She's having a bad day. It ain't about me. I'm flowing in the other way, and I'm putting her in the back of the raft, and it's the Rogue River in Oregon, and we're flowing right by Steinbeck's home.
Thank you, Chip. Cindy, did you want to go on?
So this is so funny. Chip, can you hear me?
Almost, but it's going good. Good.
Okay. If you can hear me at all, I'm literally watching you talk on my phone so I can get the words, because I cannot hear you. But what I heard you say was, instead of climbing the hill together, I heard you say, let's flow down the river together. Is that what I heard? Because I love that so much.
Yes.
Oh
That's
my God.
exactly
You're
what
my
I
new
said.
BFF. Can you just join the Trusted Treasury team?
I'll consider it. I will consider it
love it.
seriously. I'm not a numbers guy. I'm a people guy. But
All
that
right,
helps
well, you
sometimes.
are hired as our people communications. So
Got
thank
it.
you, Chip. That's
Okay,
wonderful.
Cindy.
This is really the end of everything. I will just say, year to date, this is exactly where we are. Our net revenues have been 134, our total expenses 177, and year to date. So Chip, you asked about, where are we year to date? So from January through the end of May, that's 5 months. That's where we are. So we need to go down the river, at least double that, with what we are asking for our communities right now to support the refilling of our tank to continue on into our beloved community for the next several months through the summer and into the until we get to the new year. So
Cindy?
that is, in a nutshell, how we are flowing down the river together with all of the exciting programs that we have. I was online today. I saw the number of people in the sanctuary. It was exciting to me. I got to see you all. There seem to be more people. I know that the children's ministry is growing. The music ministry is on fire. I know that everybody's happy about what's happening in the kitchen. So much going on. And so I just want to remind us all about our mission and our vision. And it's right here. We are about transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in our world. We do this through the realization of oneness. And friends, we truly are the beloved community. I'm so grateful to each and every one of you who showed up today to be a part of our town hall, to really listen with an open heart, and to know that you are going to be receiving those letters, and to just tap in to what is yours to do. If it is not yours to do, whether it's financially, you're like, you know what, I'm not there right now. That's not something I can do right now. That's okay. We ask that you bring the consciousness. And that is, I'm going to just bring us back to that first thing, the consciousness right here, building our internal abundance. our abundance of integrity, our abundance of forgiveness, our abundance of service and of love, then that external lack is going to be temporary. So that's all I've got for you guys today.
Cindy?
I'm going to stop sharing
Cindy?
my screen.
Cindy, can
And,
you hear me?
Yes.
In order for me to join your team, this is going to cost you. I want a trip to Alaska to fish salmon about tomorrow.
Woo-hoo-hoo. I can hook you up. Well, you got to get to Alaska, but then I can provide you with the trip, the boat ride. You do the plane ride, I'll do the boat ride. How's that?
So before we get into questions and answers, I want to talk about a discussion I had during the break before this, and that was I sat down with Lisa and with Tina, and we were talking about the beloved community and our role in the beloved community. And what I believe is that we all have our own distinct talents we bring. And sometimes, Chip, you made a really good point when you said, well, I'm not a numbers guy. I'm a people person. Well, our funding isn't about numbers. It's about connecting with the people. And it's about being who we are, bringing our sense of spirit, and being in the community and being part of the circulation of our financial resources. And so I believe you're the perfect person to be part of that, because you're not going to see things the same way a numbers person might see it. And that's a very important thing you bring forward. And part of that discussion was about volunteering. And a truth that I believe is that we all are volunteers because we're here. We all are part of the beloved community. And someone said, well, you're the president of the board. You must know, blah, blah, blah. To heck with being the president of the board. I'm Jerry Denton, okay? And I have swept floors. I've painted walls. I've cleaned out garbage. I have done a lot of things I'm not proud of in my life, but at the same time, I do have an opportunity to be of service here. And my belief is this position that people have said, why don't you take on for a year, is just that it's my job to make everyone else's job a little bit easier. And that's really what I believe is my role here. So it's my opportunity to reach out and say, there are a lot of things we can do here, a lot of things that you can do here, a lot of things I can do here. We have a very enthused volunteer coordinator who's just waiting to hear from you, because she'll find something you may not think is what you want to do, but it's going to be the thing the first thing I did when I came to Unity Church, I became an usher, because I was such an introvert. I didn't know how to talk to people, and I had to talk to people to lead them to a seat. And look at me now, okay? Careful what you ask for.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Is that Tina? That's the coordinator?
Yes, right behind you to your left.
All right, great. Thank you.
Yes. So yeah, I offer the opportunity for everyone here to find something that will help you become the you that you are to be. And that's what we're about.
I'd like to suggest we expand that immediately.
How's that?
The last strategy I worked on for this church, we had this dialogue, and one of the things I requested as the leader of that, facilitator of that strategy, was that we quit using, number one, the word volunteer.
Okay.
And we start using owners.
Okay.
I'm looking for owners.
I like that.
I want people who are going to put their arms around my shoulder and say, we're going down that river together, brother. Get out of the raft and let's go together. Okay? Just a thought. And the other thing is that it's really important you understand you're doing one hell of a job, and so is Tina. That staff that's up here is rocking and rolling, and that's the fire that's drawing people to us. It's that star on the horizon up here on our, what's that thing called? A what? North Star.
Thank you, Chip. I appreciate the kind words. And thank you, Tina, for all you do.
Yeah, thank you, Tina.
Okay, now, any other thoughts or questions or answers? Then we'll move on to the final slide, which is our song. If we would just gather together.
Jerry?
Yes.
Jerry, real quick before we leave together, I just want to remind everybody that our board meetings are open to the public, and they are on Thursdays. It's whatever, the last Thursday before the last Sunday. of the month at 6 o'clock on the e-campus and under the Board of Trustees. And that's an opportunity for you to have more detailed information about what's happening in the board. It's an open meeting, and it's also an opportunity for you to hear more details about the treasurer report, because I just don't have the, I can't do it all in this environment. So I just wanted to extend that invitation to the beloved community that your board is open and desires to have you at the board meeting. It's not a chance usually for the people who are visiting to make comment, but you can listen. And if there is an opportunity for you to comment, then you would be called on if you had a question in turn. So I just wanted to offer that up again as we expand and grow our beloved community, and we travel down the river flowing together. And now you can weave us together, Jerry.
We have one more comment, Jeff.
Thank you, Jerry. So my thought about that, Jerry and Cindy, is, we do post notes from the board meetings. And I think it would be great for the community to have you record those board meetings, because they are on Zoom. It's pretty easy to record, for us to see, even if we can't make it at 6 o'clock on Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. And I really appreciate the creative thought that's been expressed here today. Sometimes, I'll be honest with you, sometimes we get up here and we just say what's coming from, I really appreciate the dialogue coming back to us. If we don't hear from you, we have no idea. I just have my cloudy thinking. I really appreciate the clarity that comes from those who are here with us. So then together, why don't we, if we can, join hands or elbows, or Debbie puts down her lunch. And thank you all once again. All right. Go ahead, you lead us.
Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Cindy and Sue.